Jason Richards at the head of this pack, but get ready to see Simon Wills pit. That pit window is closing quite quickly. He only has 4 laps left to complete that compulsory pit stop. 4 tyres. He's currently leading at the moment, but that won't be the case in a handful of laps.
Greg Murphy is consistently lapping quicker than Wills. He's just taken another 0.6 of a second on that lap. So the Kmart Commodore absolutely flying. We saw it on the rev limiter at the end of the back straight. That shows that he's running out of gears. That engine is really hauling the mail, as we've seen by the Kmart cars all year. And we've just got this potentially treacherous weather situation. It's just hovering around. A few spots of rain everywhere. People have got a feeling that it may dump down in any minute, but it may stay dry to the end of this one.
It does look like it, but when you look out the wind, you swear blind it'll pour any minute.
Well, this is the area where it's raining, and look at Richards. The wiper went on.
And if the Cat guys get this right, then it'll be a great strategy. Les Laidlaw, he's a Kiwi, so maybe he knows something about the weather here.
It ain't great.
Les has been involved in many top-line teams, and he's certainly been around a long time, a very seasoned campaigner, and that wiper remaining on. Now it goes off on the team Kiwi Racer.
Look at the battle between Garth Tander and Stephen Johnson to stay inside the top 10. Tander is in 10th spot. Meanwhile, back toward the front. Mark Skate is in 3rd position. It's effectively 2nd because they're still waiting for Wills to make that stop. He hasn't got enough time on these guys, nowhere near enough. 17 seconds up the road from Murphy.
Well, we keep talking about it's looking good for the Cat Ford and Simon Wills if it pours heavily. What about the car in front of Mark Scaife, the green machine, the Europe car Commodore of Thomas Mazira? He hasn't pitted yet either. So he is in exactly the same position as Simon Wills.
Well, this is going to be a brilliant move by Les Laidlaw, the Ford team manager. If he holds him out there long enough for this rain to become an issue.
Oh, that's
brilliant, but brave, because there aren't too many people in the world that can predict weather, and
even the weather forecast.
That's right, especially the weather forecast.
Life after V8 Supercars.
Oh, there's a bit of a fight going on there with the wheel.
The rain's starting to come down now.
Oh, how good will this be?
This could be perfect for the Caterpillar Ford team if it continues to come down. What's the situation in terms of slick tyre performance, Neil? You've actually got to get to a situation where you've got puddles on the road before they become ineffective.
Guys, you can get an idea. The rain is starting to fall a little bit heavier. It's still a bit misty, but it's heavier than it's been for the bulk of the race. The Cat team tell me one more lap before Simon Wills comes in, and look what's standing by.
Well, they've got nothing to lose, have they, really? I mean, they might just as well take a punt, but it's going to be a lot wetter than this before it's going to work, though, Neil.
Correct, and to go back and address Mark's question, what you've really got to do, and it's sometimes very difficult to make the assessment, Mark, while you've got heat in slick tyres, you can actually still crank out some reasonable numbers, and if you look at lap times at the moment, they're still only a couple of seconds away from optimum. Now, before you go back into sort of, wet weather lap time performance, you've got to wipe 7, 8, 9 seconds off a lap time. So you've kind of got a window. Once you start to get on this track, I'd imagine 6, 7, 8 seconds out of the normal lap time, it's time to start thinking about wets, and we're nowhere near there yet.
Greg Murphy just did a lap 2 seconds faster than Simon Wills that previous lap.
You'd definitely say it wouldn't be the right thing now.
Not right at the moment. No. You need actually to have water on the road, because the reason for the blocks and the channels in the tyre is to pump the water away. And as you can clearly see at the moment, looking at Marcus Ambrose, there's no water on the road, but it has lost some grip. It is a little slippery. You've got to brake a little early. You've got to apply the power just a little more gently, but there's not water all over the place.
Just to indicate how costly that stop was earlier for Larry Perkins after leading, and Wills is in. Perkins is way back down the order in 20th position.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, you've got to applaud these teams to take a gamble. They're prepared to roll the dice, move themselves up the field. Hasn't quite paid off here, but it could easily have.
And it could actually work against them now if, in fact, they all do have to go on wets before the checkered flag comes out. It can actually work as a double backfire.
Yeah.
So the slicks are going on, not the wets, for Simon Wills and the Caterpillar Ford. And Greg Murphy inherits the lead. The Kiwi leads on the New Zealand circuit.
11 laps to run.
Yeah, 58.6, and Mark Scaife is just under 13 seconds behind Murphy in 2nd place. Russell Engel in 3rd.
See, the last lap through for Scaife was at 59.7. So, that's only fractionally, in percentage terms, it's not an awful lot slower than what you'd call an ideal lap. And in fact, given that the left rear tyre doesn't like
what's
this,
going on here?
There's some aggravation here, is there?
And look at how greasy the track's getting.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, we've got a car in major trouble going down the back straight.
Oh, right. What's that look like? An engine?
That looks like a major mechanical failure there. Looks like oil smoke coming out of the back of that car. Look at the
Yeah, he's going slow as well.
of smoke he's laid down the back there.
Up into the Holden hairpin. Here's the replay. What can we make of this? Marcus Ambrose going through on the inside of Russell Ingall, and Brian tries to squeeze through as well.
That's really bad for Russell Ingall.
Yeah, it is.
And perfect for Mark Scaife.
Remember, those two are actually competing for minor
points,
positions in the championship at the
Oh,
moment.
look at the rain now.
Well, that smoke must have been from that front.
Hang on, what's happened here?
He can't get around. He can't get around. Yeah.
That smoke must have been coming from a front right tyre rubbing against the guard.
It's going to get fun and games now. Look at the circuit now.
Oh yeah, it's wet now.
It's definitely wet.
Now it is time for wet. So the worst thing for Simon Wills there was
exactly that.
the whole gamble. They're only maybe a minute or two out of sync in for wet.
I wonder Mark Scaife.
What about Thomas Mazzeo?
Yeah.
Did Tom come in for wet tyres or not?
Yes.
Critical
Well, he's come in.
situation here for Mark Scaife. Championship is hanging in the balance.
And when Scaife goes for wets, you know that it's certainly time for it. He would have hung on if he could. Oh, Marcus is in front of him.
Ambrose has come in for wets. He's come out just a fraction in front of the Holden Racing Team Commodore. Here comes Greg Murphy. He was our race leader, but he's been caught out as well.
And that last half lap for Murphy on a very wet track on slicks will have hurt his time. Scaife and Ambrose are the better positioned at the moment.
Yep, they chose to come in.
Poor old
Simon
Simon Wills.
position. Here comes Greg Murphy. Kmart team well drilled. Wet tyres going on. Boy, oh boy, it's all come alive here.
I tell you, that Cat team was so unlucky.
Yeah, I
They
know,
were
it's
so
such a
close to
shame.
getting that right.
Exactly right.
Well, as I said, I really applaud the teams that are prepared to roll the dice. They rolled it, but it just didn't come up with the number they wanted.
Yeah, now we've got, you can see a genuinely wet track. There's spray behind the cars, and it's very dark. It's headlights on.
Russell Ingall is still on the track meanwhile. Here he is. He's still on slick tyres. And this could be a huge gamble for Russell Ingall. I wonder if he's going to decide to stay out there or not.
Lap 27 of 36. We're running out of time. We're running out of laps. And Russell Ingall, he's rolling the dice himself.
Well, there's the critical championship development here coming into this race. Oh, we've had problems. What's going on? A bit of an overlap in pit lane. Jason Bargwanna and the Shell team battling for pit position here.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Jason Bargwanna was making his way into pit lane to pick up his wets. Paul Radicic was leading. They both jammed. They had nowhere to go. They were stalled there for about 5 seconds. Everybody within the teams were arguing with each other, but now they're back out again.
Russell Ingall has decided to come in for wet weather tyres as well. We thought the enforcer might have been playing the ultimate gamble here.
That really would have been the ultimate gamble as well.
And I saw Paul's car go backwards, and I was curious to see whether or not he was pulled backwards or whether he grabbed reverse, because if he grabs reverse, that's against the rules. And
oh, really?
Well, absolutely. So it'd be interesting to see what that was all about.
Russell Ingall bearing the battle scars from that opening lap skirmish down at Holden Hairpin. Wet weather tyres going on. And Russell Ingall can see his championship hopes slipping away here. Falling into Mark Scaife's lap. Well caught strategy by HRT to bring Scaife in when they did. That's given him a very strong track position.
Larkham currently leads the way on a very slick and slippery Pukekohe circuit. It's going to get interesting in these last handful of laps. Stay with us. You're watching the second last round of the Shell Championship Series, and it is very, very slippery at Pukekohe, sideways style from one of the Shell Helix cars and Mark Larkham. Very treacherous conditions at the moment.
I tell you what does amaze me, Neil, that no one's gone off on that fast right-hander onto the start and finish straight, just there.
Well, I don't think too many people would be looking for the last
Exactly.
millimetre in the dry. Lots of people were looking for the last millimetre, but not in these conditions.
Yeah, these guys have not run in wet conditions all week, so this is the first time Anthony Trapp in the Toll IPEC Ford. He's come off at Holden Hairpin. Has caught a number of competitors out today. Very easy to misjudge your braking coming from a high speed to a very low speed corner, particularly in these conditions.
Similar conditions to the Queensland 500 where they were sliding everywhere. As you can see, there's 6 laps to run here at Pukekohe.
We'll bring you up to date. Oh, Team Kiwi, Angus Fogg in trouble again.
Now, this may produce a red flag too.
75% of race distance completed.
And I understand that Murphy's stop was effective, and he's actually managed to come out in front of Scaife, even though he had to do that extra sort of half lap, if you like, on a wet track with slicks. It was still enough pace to keep him in position. There's
In front of Scaife and Ambrose.
yes.
That's in a very precarious position there, Neil. I'm sure you'd agree. That's right at the end of the back straight, huh?
Yeah, difficult spot, and in these conditions the race director will be well aware that other people could end up in there and slam into that car, so there'll be some discussion in race control at the moment as to whether or not that red flag should be brought out.
Tell you what, if they hold out the red flag now, this falls into Mark Larkin's lap. He's still out there on slick tyres. And I was going to say,
look at this,
the other guy out on slick tyres.
Dear me.
But he's just paid the price of staying on the slicks. Look at the damage on the big Kev car. Had a monster crash earlier in the week. They've managed to get the car repaired, and once again he's tasted the Armco.
Here's the Shell Helix replay. Watch this. The Clowns goes through on the inside.
Oh, well, that was where we were talking about.
He was, right where you were talking about, Barry, and he ended up out of the wheel tracks. That was the problem there, and on that surface to the outside, the car just takes off, and he was a passenger.
And there is Terry Morris and the team. As Paul Morris is all out of shape in a very dangerous position. This is your race leader, and these are the top two. Murphy is chasing. This is first and second on the road. Greg Murphy on wet tyres. Mark Larkham on slicks as Murph pulls out and up the back straight. Takes the lead yet again.
So Mark Larkham hanging around out there on slick tyres. I wonder if he's going to try and stay out there for the distance. Yellow flags waving to warn competitors about that stranded Morris car.
How brave is that boy staying out there on slick tyres? Look at those conditions. They're just treacherous. But answering that question before, Paul Radicic, he did grab reverse gear.
This is your race leader, car 51, the Kmart Commodore Larkham.
Oh, he's had a bit of a shunt as well. Well, that corner must be carrying a lot of water, because that's exactly where Morris went off the previous lap.
And that's really in a dangerous place there.
Oh, once you get those slick tyres up on that body of water, you're gone.
Larkham out of the car and just getting out of harm's way. Greg Murphy leads the way from Ambrose and Scaife at the moment.
Sort of place.
Now Russell Ingall is closing in dramatically on Mark Scaife. Keep in mind, Ingall has to finish in front of Scaife to keep the championship alive in this race. So
well, this is
incredible pressure.
This condition got Russell's handwriting all over it, and look at it.
How crook's that?
Oh dear me!
Can you believe it? Well, Greg Murphy's the race leader.
And Grant confirmed to us there a moment ago, in all the activity, it's hard to pick up every little fact, but Grant was saying that he did grab reverse gear in the pit lane. Probably had no other choice, I might mention, but that's something that you can't do.
Look how carefully he's taking it. Yellow flags waving. You can hear the crowd cheering on Greg Murphy in these treacherous conditions. 9.6 seconds the lead, and it is absolutely bucketing down. It's a deluge right now.
Anthony Tratter's gone off too, guys, not far from where Mark Larkham is and where Paul Morris spun off. Now, I've spoken to a couple of the teams. The concern is there is something down on the track.
Red flag.
It's the end of it.
Red flag, the race has been stopped. The race has been stopped. Now, keep in mind, the red flag is shown. The race result is declared from the lap previous to when the red flag was shown.
There's Rob Crawford and the Kmart team from TWR Australia. Greg Murphy qualifying was fastest, pole position, and the race one victory. It's a repeat of 1996. Well, we're getting close to it anyway.
Jason Richards, 4th place. How about that?
Yeah,
that's
two other outstanding efforts there. Tony Longhurst and Garth Tander as well.
Just remember what Mark said, that you've got to backdate the results.
Yeah, you're right.
So that just be careful we don't get trapped.
But if conditions remain as they are, or the positions remain as they are, Mark Scaife ahead of Russell Ingall. Scaife has just claimed his 4th Shell Championship Series title in the most difficult conditions imaginable. We'll just confirm those finishing positions for you. But if he has finished in front of Russell, that is the championship for the reigning champ, back-to-back.
And it's handy for Ingall because Bright is way down the list there, so points-wise.
Wow, what a race. We haven't had rain for 2 days previous. And now it's absolutely come down at the critical moment.
And changed so aggressively too. It was beautiful sunshine earlier in the day.
Oh, look at the outside
very
now.
Quickly.
Whoa, you want to say outside our commentary box, you've got the visibility's down to about 1 kilometre.
Into the land of the long grey cloud now, hasn't it?
Whoa.
Well done, Greg Murphy. Keeps his perfect Pukekohe record intact. He has not been beaten here in a V8 Supercar.
That was an eventful race, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. That was a shame for the cat mob, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You roll the dice. Sometimes you win when you gamble.